17th century alcohol.
The victors write history, sure, but colonial America? That history is scribbled in drunken handwriting on the back of a rum-soaked receipt. Welcome to the wild world of the New World, where booze wasn't just a social lubricant, it was a survival strategy, an economic engine, and a moral minefield. So pour yourself a drink and let's stumble into the hazy taverns of early America. Let's start with the Puritans, the stoic, buckle-shoed pilgrims fleeing religious persecution and chasing an endless tap of ale. The Mayflower wasn't just a ship, it was a floating pub. Clean water was a gamble, often contaminated, sometimes lethal. Beer was safer. Beer was salvation in a bottle. Even Increase Mather, a man who made brimstone sermons a full-time job, once declared, "Drink is in itself a good creature of God." Translation, God's cool with a cold one. Who are we to argue? This wasn't hedonism, it was pragmatic piety. Colonists cultivated wild hops and refined beer recipes, and by 1657, Boston had its first rum distillery humming. The colonists were hustling, alchemizing sugar, sweat, and survival into commerce. Until, of course, the cost came due. Enter rum, the sweet, molasses-born juggernaut that transformed New England into an economic beast. It wasn't just for colonial toasts. Rum powered the infamous triangular trade, shuttling goods between New England, the Caribbean, and West Africa. But let's not romanticize it. This was capitalism with blood on its hands. For every barrel of rum produced, there was a hidden invoice in human lives. Enslaved people were traded, brutalized, and commodified, all in service of a liquor economy. The ideals of free enterprise, here they collided head-on with human decency, leaving behind a moral hangover still lingering centuries later. Back home, alcohol flowed freely through the veins of daily life. Weddings, funerals, harvest festivals, town hall meetings. Booze was always on the guest list. In many ways, it was the original social network. Before Facebook walls, there were tavern walls, and everyone was posting. But the party had its limits. Colonial leaders began to notice that the line between merriment and mayhem was razor thin. As the tankards clinked, early temperance warnings started to creep in. Even back then, America was wrestling with a fundamental contradiction: how to balance personal freedom with collective responsibility, one stiff drink at a time. And then there's the other story, the one often poured last and least. For Native American communities, alcohol didn't just arrive as a trade good, it came as a cultural wrecking ball. While colonists used liquor to lubricate their society, for many indigenous peoples, it became a corrosive force. Already grappling with displacement, disease, and genocide, tribes now faced an imported crisis in liquid form. Alcohol, sometimes deliberately introduced, became a tool of manipulation, dependency, and cultural erosion. What began as barter became something far more insidious, a slow drip form of imperialism with devastating consequences. So what do we moderns take from all this? Colonial America's relationship with alcohol isn't just a quaint tale of tankards and trade, it's a mirror. It reflects ingenuity and greed, celebration and destruction, profit and pain. The rum industry stands as a monument to human creativity, but also a cautionary tale of what happens when ambition outruns morality. And those early debates over temperance? They echo in today's headlines about addiction, regulation, and the blurry lines between liberty and liability. In the end, alcohol in colonial America wasn't just something people drank, it was something they lived by. It built towns, it tore apart lives, it brought people together, and it split cultures in two. History may not always repeat itself, but it certainly does slur its words.
So, you've subjected yourself to a portion of the RPTM podcast. We'll pretend that our attempts at humor actually worked and triggered some odd spasms you might call laughter. If, by some inexplicable twist of fate, you found this clip mildly less torturous than anticipated, consider bestowing upon us the sacred thumbs-up gesture. Oh, and there's that ominous subscribe button too, a click that seals your fate, ensuring you'll be relentlessly bombarded with our future endeavors to perplex and bewilder.